Recordings in progress. All right, Keith, the floor is yours, sir.
Hey, well, hey, listen, thanks everyone for jumping on. This is our first Follow Up Boss and Ylopo training. And you might be asking yourself if you're from the master's team, which we all now are, but if you're from one of the master's offices, you'd be saying, well, Keith, you're about to train me on something that I don't have access to. So how am I going to get access to it? Next week, the plan is to send out an email to everybody. And if you're interested in taking advantage of the broker paid CRM, we're going to ask you to essentially just register, just fill out some information so that we can expedite getting your account set up. That will be going out middle of next week. But in the meantime, if you're one of those overachievers, which I know most of you are, if not all of you, and you're like, you know what, I don't really have a good CRM right now, or I'm in between CRMs, or you know what, I manage my database out of my phone and I've really been looking to get on a CRM. You guys just email me and I can get you set up in advance. Okay. You don't have to wait until the formal email goes out and we ask people to register. In the chat, I included my email address. It's just Keith, Keith at fullrealtyservices.com. And my phone number, cell phone is 951-760-9383. And I encourage you guys to reach out to me for anything. Honestly, I want to get to know you. I want to be able to help you to the best of my ability. As it relates to the CRM Follow-Up Boss, we have another individual on our team. His name's Hunter, and he's our inside sales agent. He calls about 400 people a day. He uses Follow Up Boss at a high level. One of the things that he's going to be assisting with us going forward is he's actually going to be taking on the trainings going forward. So every Friday you'll get to see Hunter. He'll walk you through the system. He'll answer any questions that you guys have. And if you have any unique requests, maybe you want a certain automation, or you have some questions on certain functionality, he'll be able to assist you along with myself going forward. Sound like a plan? Woohoo! All right. So without further ado, I do want to get you guys, I want to get you in the system. I want to show you around the system, because let's see, where we at? There we are. Can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
Great.
Yes.
Great. And so welcome to Follow Up Boss. Follow Up Boss is, in my opinion, the best CRM on the market. We did a lot of research. We love the user friendliness. We love the automation that you can create and introduce into your business. We love the simplicity of becoming more efficient. It should be everyone's goal on this call to increase their database by 50% in the next 6 months. You should be that should be one of your goals. I want to increase my database. I want to increase my database with individuals who are likely to buy or sell real estate. And if they're not likely to buy or sell real estate next week, not next month, not in 3 months, the nice part about Follow Up Boss is you can organize that database such that you stay in front of them over 12 months, okay? And you stay relevant such that when it is time, guess who they're coming to? They're coming to you because you've stayed in touch, you've provided value, and because the reality is the system that we've created gives you some unique visibility into their behavior. How many of you guys have talked with someone who said, I'm not going to buy, or I'm not going to sell, but then they do a few weeks later? I think we all have, right?
Yes.
The reality is we do this to people every day. I get calls from, people that are soliciting services, and, I tell them I'm not interested because I'm busy. And I'm, like sometimes you're just not ready for a sales call. But, most of the time I'm probably, if I was looking online, if I was doing a behavior that indicated that I was interested, chances are I'm probably going to buy that product soon. And so having visibility into your database's behaviors is really, really important. It puts you ahead of the rest. So I'm going to go just high level, general overview of the system, and I'm only talking about Follow Up Boss for the first half of this conversation. So first things first, a database isn't a database unless there's people in it. So the first thing that you will end up doing once given access to a Follow Up Boss is you will add people into it. You can do it two ways. Really easy. This little blue guy up here in the corner, you can push him and you can add in individuals one by one. Hopefully you're adding in more than a few. If you need to add in multiple, they have a very nice, easy import button right here, and you can import an entire list of your database. So let's say you're currently with another CRM and you want to get that CRM, or you want to get that database out of that CRM and into Follow Up Boss. It's really, really easy. It's an easy export and it's an easy import. And our team can help you ensure that you don't lose any data, make sure that you're importing it the right way, such that everything sticks. Okay. Follow Up Boss has been kind enough to even give you a little video. It's a 2-minute video and it shows you exactly what the import process looks like. Okay. So once you get your people in the database, now it's time to follow up like a boss, hence the name. There's a few benefits to using Follow Up Boss. There's a lot of benefits. There's an overwhelming amount of benefits, but two of my favorite are the fact that there's a single line dialer integrated within the system. So basically, if I want to call 26 people right now, I can very easily just come over to this phone button on this all people page, and I can click the phone button. And what it's going to do is it's going to take me into each of these individuals' account. First person's Jesus. And it's going to take me into each of these people's account, and it's going to allow for me to add notes while I'm talking to them. It's going to allow for me to change their stage from maybe cold to hot while I'm talking to them. And when I'm done talking to them, it's just going to take me to the next person. And if you don't already know this, having to pick up the phone, dial a number, and put it to your ear, it takes a little bit of time. Okay. This up, down takes a little bit of time. Not to mention, a lot of us are naturally going to get distracted. So getting in your cockpit, getting your headset on, getting this single line dialer, lined up and ready to rock will allow for you to prepare to prospect better, prepare to follow up better. The other thing that you can do is you can click these 26 people, and I can send them all an email at the same time. Now, the system, and what I'm going to talk about here in a moment, gives you some really awesome ways to filter your database. I may want to filter them by stage. I may only want to see people that are in the hot stage. I may only want to see people that are in the cold stage or the nurture stage. Regardless, as I filter them, I can send specific messaging to this group of people. And that messaging is nice because I can come in here and I can say market update. And instead of me having to do kind of a generic email, I can be very customized by leveraging these merge fields. And these merge fields allow for me to plug in information from each of the clients or database, including their first name, their phone number. There's like the merge list goes on and on and on and on. There's a lot of information that I can pluck from each of these individuals, such that I'm creating a message that when I send it out to 26 or 27 people, all of them are going to be custom. You follow? So I come in here and I type this beautiful message. The message is gorgeous. It's very compelling. There's a call to action. I'm going to get some responses. You can tell, obviously, based on what I wrote. You can add in additional merge fields where you deem fit. And as you get more familiar with the system, you'll figure out which merge fields work best for you. You can preview that email to make sure that the merge fields are pulling in correctly. May take a second. And you can see the first person on my list, her name is Candy. My compelling message. And I actually dropped in a merge field that had, it pulled in the last 5 homes that this person looked at on my search site. Okay. Which each of you will get as part of opting into this CRM. Each of you will get your own search site. So Candy looked at these 5 properties more recently, and I just created a message, and literally I sent it to 20 to 26 people all at once. Any questions on the bulk email functionality?
Keith, there was not a question on that, but a question in the chat box that asked, does Follow Up Boss have a dialer built into it?
It does. Yes, it does. And so let me get back to that here in a second. The last thing I wanted to show you really quickly on this email is that you can delay it. So if you're burning the midnight oil, you're working late at night and you're like, probably not going to send an email to 26 people or 100 people for that matter at, midnight or 11 p.m. You can just schedule it nice and easy for the morning. Once you hit send on that email, okay? Once you hit send on that email, that's a batch email. You can actually come in here and under reporting, you can see information related to your batch emails, and you can see, give me a second, sorry. You can see how they performed. I sent it to 1,000 people, 755 of those sent out, 107 of them open. So you get some really good analytics in regards to your email marketing. The dialer question. Yes, I was just walking through that. You do have a single line dialer that comes included with Follow Up Boss. It's free. You can click multiple people and you just hit this dial, this phone button, and it will call each of those individuals top to bottom, one by one, allow for you to add notes, allow for you to change stages, allow for you to enter any additional information. And then boom, you hit end and you move to the next person. And it allows for you to just, burn through, 20, 30 contacts a lot faster than picking up the phone one by one.
What phone number is it a different phone number?
It's a great question. And it's a very important question. So what Follow Up Boss and what a lot of CRMs attempt to do is they want you to be in one central location managing your business. Okay. And what I mean by that is a lot of us right now, we monitor our emails and we're emailing over here in our emails. We're picking up our phone and we're on our phone, we're texting on our phone. And so we have multiple platforms that we're interacting with, and all those platforms have activity. And, you may find it challenging. I'm not sure if all of you use a CRM right now. Some of you may be operating off of all of those various platforms. And what Follow Up Boss said is they said, you know what? We want to get them into one spot. And so what Follow Up Boss does is they integrate with your email. And when I say that they integrate with your email, let's say you have a Gmail, account, okay? Keitth at century21masters.com at Gmail or whatever, right? So there's my email address. Anybody who is in my database, any of the people that are in my database that have an email address also attached to their contact information, when they email my Gmail account, it's automatically going to pull that email into the activity for me to see. So I'm automatically going to see all of the email communication that's coming through my Gmail without having to go to my Gmail.
Oh, wow.
Really, really nice. Additionally, Follow Up Boss records every single phone call that you make through the system. Okay, so if you make a phone call through the system, which is really easy, you just click the phone number, and I have it all blurred out because I didn't want everyone to see everyone's data, but I just click this phone number and I can call that person right from the system. So many of you are probably managing your database or your prospecting through your computer. You're putting on the headset, you got your Bluetooth all dialed in, and boom, you're banging, right? You're calling a lot of people. What's nice about that is very efficient, and you can call individually. You can enter notes, like I said, and when you call through Follow Up Boss, they actually do assign you your own phone number. So you get your own phone number such that you can call and text through the system. What's beautiful about that, and I'll address the elephant in the room, which is all of you are thinking to yourself, I don't want another phone number. That's fine. I understand. Trust me, I get it. God bless you.
Thank you.
But in order for all of the activity to live in one place, you kind of have, there's going to have to be some sacrifices. And the sacrifice is adopting a business line or a new work number that you communicate to all of your database, and you start utilizing it through the system, because every time that you make a phone call through the system, like I said, it's actually recording it, and you can, let's see where the phone call is. I'll get a phone call for you guys, but it's very easy. You can actually just come in here and you can click on the little play button right here, and you can re-listen to any of your phone conversations. Okay. So I'm going to take a step back. Now that you know that you would get a new phone number, I want you to ask yourself one question. If you could have all of your activity in one place, would that benefit your business? And some of you probably already have this with other CRMs, but if you had all of your activity in one place, would that benefit your business? The answer is yes, right? If you could see all of your emails, all of your phone calls, all of your text messages, anytime someone looked at a home, right? Any of your notes all in one spot, that would make you a little bit more efficient. You look in one spot, you get all that information. And so with Follow Up Boss, that's exactly what happens. Is you can come in here, you click on your person's name, and right in this area, I can access all my notes, I can access all my calls, I can access any text message that I've sent, any emails, and it's really, really nice and organized. You know, after a year of following up with someone, I'm assuming if we're calling them, let's say bare minimum quarterly, right? But probably more frequent than that. You're going to have a lot of activity in here. And having it all located right here in the middle is nice. Any questions? I'm going to pause for a second. I just covered a lot, so I want to pause for a second.
Is the client notified that the conversation is being recorded?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yeah. Follow Up Boss is very, very secure in the sense that they've taken all appropriate precautions to ensure that that they are compliant with all regulations. It's one of the reasons why they only allow for you to text one person at a time, is because they're a little bit more conservative in regards to all those regulations.
Then do we have access? I'm assuming that somebody else has access to all of our conversations, text messages. I'm assuming that if we attach the Gmail with this one, all the private like account numbers and different things that client sends us will be CC'd here on this the Follow Up Boss, correct?
You are absolutely correct. And just as much as Follow Up Boss takes the security of your data, so do we. There is very limited access to the database of the brokerage. I myself am one of 3 people that have it. We keep it really tight, and for obvious reasons. And I can assure you, I know I can say this until I'm blue in the face, and some of you may not believe me, but there is no way in hell I have enough time to be going through individual conversations and looking at phone calls. And so we keep it really limited. The reporting functionality within the system is something that some of our teams do have access to, such that they can pull some reporting and they can provide that information during coaching conversations, during goal setting conversations, and that stuff's very, very helpful. But it's valid. It's a very good question. It's a valid concern. I totally understand where you're coming from. Keep in mind that only the emails that come from your database in the system will migrate into the system. Another thing that's really cool with Follow Up Boss is how many of you guys have some different lead sources coming in? How many of you guys have some Op Cities or some Redfin, or you're paying for some leads over here, or you're getting leads over here? Like, I'm assuming quite a few of you have some lead gen. Follow Up Boss does an amazing job of integrating with hundreds, if not thousands, of lead generation companies, such that those leads, when they hit your inbox in your Gmail account, the system recognizes them and automatically pulls that lead into the system for you. So no more going to your email and having to manually punch in the lead that you got. Any other questions before I move on?
So how, if we already have a Follow-Up Boss in Ylopo, how will that transition work for some of us that have that?
That's a great question. And I'm glad that quite a few of you guys have Follow Up Boss and Ylopo. Follow Up Boss has agreed that we can inform them when one of our agents has a previous Follow Up Boss account, and they will help migrate that information into our broker paid such that you can recognize the savings. On Ylopo, what I recommend is there's two scenarios for Ylopo. And for those of you who are like, Ylopo what? Ylopo is essentially the lead gen, the website, the artificial intelligence, kind of the drip campaign system that works really, really well with Follow Up Boss. The two of them almost advertise both products together, but they're separate. And Monica, for individuals that currently have a Ylopo account, okay, what I've done is I've reached out to our representative, and we actually, as part of having a brokerage account with them, they offer what's called a Tech Plus plan, which is there's some savings associated when you're affiliated with our brokerage. I believe it's a $500 discount.
Okay.
So it's a good chunk of change. Those situations, those that currently have Ylopo and they have the custom brand site, and you kind of have all the bells and whistles with Ylopo, it does take a little bit of time. Traditionally, I've seen it take, 2 weeks in order to get the information kind of switched over, and we get your lead flow working very specific ways. But it's nice to recognize the savings, and in that circumstance, you maintain your custom website, which is great. For everybody else on the call, when I get to the Ylopo session or section of the training, I'll show you what you get as a default under our brokerage account. Okay.
Okay.
Any other questions? Okay, great. So when you get into, so once again, this people page right here, you guys all see it. This is all people, okay? All people. And like I've already started to show you, there's some bulk functionality. You can update people's stage. You can add or remove tags. How many of you guys know what tags are? Just by a show of hands. How many of you guys are on social media? I know a lot of you guys are on social media. When you go on social media and you're at the fair and you're like hashtag Orange County Fair, tags are the exact same thing. You're basically tagging that individual, that client, with a specific marker. And that tag, the importance of that tag is very simple. When you tag someone, let's say you tag them buyer, or you tag them seller, or you tag them credit repair, whatever the tag is, you can add as many tags as you want, but the benefit is you can filter by those specific tags. And so Follow Up Boss provides you with a whole bunch of data that you can add as columns up on top when you're looking at your database from a 30,000-foot view, such as stage, collaborators, all this stuff that I'm adding in here, right? But you may want something that they don't currently have as a column, and that's where you would leverage tags. Make sense? So next, I want to jump into one of these individuals. So this is Jessica Young. Everyone say hi, Jessica. So Jessica.
Hi, Jessica.
There we go. So Jessica, this is her client card. So when I clicked on Jessica's name, this is where you're going to store all information related to Jessica. Okay. Up here, we got phone numbers, we got emails, we got home address. Would you all agree that those three things are vital when building out your database? You should have the phone number, the email, and the home address. Yes? Okay. So Follow Up Boss has conveniently just put them up top. Relationships. This is for those individuals that are tied together, married, partnership, significant other. Having said that, I love that Follow Up Boss included this. I do. I really like that they put this in there. One would think that would make it easier to organize one's database. My personal recommendation is that you do not set people up on relationships. I personally like to keep people separate. A, it helps me build my database. B, I know for a fact that Jessica, maybe her husband's name is Bob, Jessica has a different network than Bob. And so I want to keep them separate. God forbid Jessica and Bob were ever to split up. Am I the first one that's going to be notified that Jessica and Bob split up? Maybe they have to sell their home. And that's not funny. But the reality is managing all of these relationships is just tough. So I always recommend people to shy away from creating relationships. Stages under details. Stages is one of the things that if you're going to use any CRM, okay, if you're going to use any CRM, there are a few things that are non-negotiable. Okay, team. The first thing, you got to import your database. You can't work a database without a database. Number two, you have to call your database. You got to call all the people. You got to follow up with them, right? We all know that. This isn't our first rodeo. And then you have to update their stage based on those conversations. So Abigail, if I called you and we're talking, we're having a good conversation, I'm providing value, right?
Yes, sir.
And you told me about 3 months ago that, hey, Keith, we're not in a place to buy or sell right now, but thanks for calling. It was a great conversation, follow up soon. Great. I call you 3 months later. If something changed, which likely things change, right? I come in here and instead of you being cold, I'm going to move you into the appropriate stage. Okay. You're either going to go into a watch stage, which is 6 to 12 months, a nurture stage, which is 3 to 6 months, a warm stage, which is 3 to 90 days, or a hot stage, and ideally blazing hot. Okay. So Abigail, which stage are you? When are you going to buy or sell?
I'm in escrow right now, so I'm hot.
You're blazing hot. Okay. So I would click blazing hot. And when I click blazing hot, I would click this little checkbox because I got to save my work. Okay. You got to save your work. I'd click this little checkbox and that will save the work because I don't know if Jessica is blazing hot. I'm going to hit X. She's back to cold. You can add in the price, budget, I guess you could call it. This is where you would add in individual tags. This could be zip codes. This could be buyer or seller. You guys see all the tags that you can add. I mean, you could add anything you want. What I will tell you is this, the agents that work their CRM the best define the tags that they're going to use and they use them consistently. They define the tags they're going to use and they use them consistently. They don't just all of a sudden say, oh, you know what? That person, likes falafels. So I'm going to put falafel lover. No, they don't do that kind of stuff. I mean, you could, but what I would recommend is that you actually enter that information down here under background. Okay. If you really want to remember that Keith Thompson likes falafels, you put it under background. And when you're talking to me or when you're thinking about me or when you're sending me something, hopefully you're sending me falafels. And you put that right here under background. That stays there forever. Okay. That's your little permanent note section that stays right there. It could say Keith is a diehard Dallas Cowboy fan. And some of you are going to be like, oh, poor Keith. Actually, they're kicking butt this year. So whatever. Sorry, I got distracted thinking about the Dallas Cowboys. My bad. So then you got custom fields. And guys, I'm not going to lie. There is so much stuff under custom fields. It may look overwhelming. Don't let it look overwhelming. It's a whole bunch of miscellaneous data points that you can collect on your database. Okay. So let's say every single person in your database, you want to collect their birthday. Is that probably a good best practice? Probably. Their anniversary, or you can call it their homeversary. Their loan amount if you're a loan officer. I know that for some of you from one of the master's offices, you're like, oh, we don't really talk about loans that often. Well, we talk about loans a lot, and keeping loan amounts in there is a very good best practice, because guess what? At some point, rates are going to come down and I want to refinance that person. So keeping in their loan amount or their rate, all of those things play a factor. So you can come through here and you can identify which custom fields are non-negotiable, and you can actually modify this custom fields list. So it doesn't have to be this overwhelming. You can come in here and you can modify which ones you want and which ones you don't want. Okay. I already talked to you about this central activity log area. Some fun facts on this, guys. Emails, I can either see everything, which is sometimes overwhelming, especially if I'm following up a lot. I can see emails, text messages, phone calls, notes, some marketing messages or registration, some marketing emails that I sent out. I can even go in here and I can identify certain notes activity as very important, and I can put a star next to it, and then I can filter by my stars. I like that one a lot. So on the right side, well, actually, I missed a spot. Straight up top, you can create notes, you can send emails, you can send text messages. And let's say you're in your car and someone calls you on your regular phone, which is going to happen, guys. I know it is. And you're being a very good driver, and you pull over and you jot down some notes. Okay. I'm sure none of you ever take notes while driving. But let's say you pull over and you jot down some notes, and you want to remember that conversation. Because if you're anything like me, 15 minutes goes by and whoop, see you later. You can actually come in here and you can log a call manually. So a call that was taken outside, or a conversation that was taken outside of the system, you can come in here and you can log that conversation. Make sense? Off to the right-hand side. Here we go. So I'm going to pause. No, I'm not. I'm going to keep going. So once you get set up on Ylopo, which I told you, Follow Up Boss is hardcore CRM. Ylopo is the marketing side of things. If I wanted to send someone some listing alerts, like a drip campaign on available homes that meet a very specific criteria, I would leverage Ylopo to do that. If I wanted to send someone to not Zillow or Redfin and none of those portal sites, I don't want them going to those portal sites, because we know what those portal sites are doing. They're harvesting leads and they're selling leads. So I want them to go to my site, my home search site, where they can see all the same homes that they can on Zillow. And I'll show you how that works here in a second. But when I point them there, what happens is when they click on homes, guess what? I get to be kind of creepy. I get to see all the homes they're looking at, and the average prices and the zip codes and the bed, bath parity, the square footage, all that fun stuff. I get to see it. Okay. Task. How many of you guys love sticky notes? Cindy, you and I know. I got stickies everywhere. Angie, are you a sticky note person?
I am.
You're on mute. Who said they are? All right. We could talk about stickies for a while, I guess. So sticky notes are great, but if you're anything like me, they just pile up and I eventually just throw them away. Task within the system are a lot better. So I'm talking to Jessica, and I call Jessica, and Jessica's like, hey, you know what, Keith, really would love to talk. but I just had my 3-year-old just vomited on my shirt. Dang, that sucks. Should I call you back tomorrow? Tomorrow works great. I can come in here really quickly and I can just, using this little flash task, I can set up by clicking that button, a follow-up task for tomorrow to reach back out. Let's say I'm talking to Jessica, or I am going through my database and Jessica just closed and I wanted to send her a thank you card. I can come in here and under the plus button, I can do a thank you card. I can do an open house. I can do a closing or a showing. There's a few different things that it allows for you to schedule a task for. You come in here, you find your name will automatically pop up, just so you know. The date, the time, create the task. What's nice about leveraging tasks is that you come up here and all of your tasks pop up in one spot. Today's task, I don't have any, but you should probably have quite a few. Overdue task, it'll keep you updated on that. I clearly have overdue task. And then future tasks that are coming down the pipe. Calendar.
It's gonna be 50. I'll be, hey, my name's in there. Okay.
Let's see. So, where was I? We were talking about Jessica Young. Jessica Young, task. Okay, next, appointments. How many of you prospect for a couple hours a day? And the whole point of prospecting is to get the appointment. Raise those hands. We're appointment getters. That's what we do. Because we know that if we're not getting appointments, probably not getting deals. Got to get appointments. So what Follow Up Boss does that makes it really nice on appointments is I can come in here and I can say, hey, Jessica, I was talking with her. This is a listing appointment. Okay. And I can add a description, just an FYI. Okay. Mark down a little note right here. Okay. Mark down a little note for appointments. Whatever I put here and whatever the title is here, Jessica's going to get that. So this is not where I would want to say, oh, that annoying Jessica Young. No. This is not where you put anything incriminating. Okay. This is where you just put some nice descriptive notes, instructions, etc. I'm sure none of us have any of those feelings towards any of our clients. I come down here, I click listing. There's not an outcome yet because I'm just setting the appointment, right? And then I put the date, the time, and the location, and it's automatically going to put me and Jessica in this appointment. What I recommend is that you come right here and you click send text reminder, and then I click hit create the appointment. What this is going to do is the night before and the morning of, Jessica's going to receive a text message reminding her of the appointment. How many of you guys have set an appointment and they didn't show up? If that hasn't happened to you, it will. And I'm really surprised that it hasn't. The text reminders are great. People are busy. People forget. That text reminder is a very easy automated way of making sure that they get 2 reminders that there's an appointment at a specific time. Deals. How many of you guys prospect for a few hours a day and set as many appointments as you can, and then hope that those appointments eventually result in a closed transaction? Because that's how we get paid. So we got to get the appointments. We got to get the closed transactions. Yes. So what happens is once you get that appointment, okay, I schedule the appointment and this is looking good. This person looks like they need to sell. Okay. I got the listing agreement signed. What you can do is you can hit the plus sign and you can come in here and we can say, okay, for sellers, the name may be Jessica. It's just, yes, Jessica Young, or you can put the property address, however you want to organize your deal pipeline. You come in here and you identify, okay, the appointment was met, or it's pre-listing, or it's listed, whatever it is, okay? You select that. And when you select that, you add in the price. And I get some of this stuff when you're doing the listing presentation, you have a general idea. So you're putting in, what you proposed or what they agreed to, the anticipated close date. I know things are sitting on the market for a little longer these days. So, you put your best guess at how long it should take to close this deal. what you anticipate from a commission standpoint, some additional notes, and then you create the deal. What's really nice about this, guys, is that now not only are you managing your database, okay, not only are you better managing your database, are you ensuring that you're following up with people, but you're also managing your pipeline, okay? And your pipeline, you know, as you add these people in, it may be an opportunity. Well, that opportunity hopefully turns into an appointment. So you can drag it over and it's very nice little clean drag and drop as they move through the stages of the transaction. Make sense? Very similar to the stages that I showed you earlier on their profile. They're blazing hot, they're hot. The reality, guys, is everyone's in on a journey. Everyone's on a journey as it relates to buying or selling a home. It doesn't matter if they're looking to buy or sell in 12 years or 1 month. They're on a journey. And so all you're doing is tracking where they are on that journey. And in a transaction, there's a journey. And the stage board essentially keeps you on track with where they are in that journey as it relates to the transaction. Any questions? Okay. The last thing I'm gonna cover is action plans. How many of you guys know what an action plan is? I see some hands. Arman, you know what an action plan is? Do you use Follow Up Boss?
I
Armand?
don't, but I'm excited about it. I have a Lions desk.
Okay, great. Yeah. Anybody else know what action plans are? So action plans are essentially it's automation to an extent. Okay. An action plan, it's not automation to an extent, it's automation. So if I apply an action plan, let's say I come in here and I find an action plan and I say, I want this action plan right here. It's high priority action plan. And I have to dive into this. As we go through additional trainings, you guys are going to get more and more information in regards to action plans, smart lists, all that stuff. But when I click on this, what's going to happen is whatever those steps are, whatever
6862895 is not available.
Robert, I don't know how to mute. You got it? So whatever steps are associated with that action plan are going to start happening. And that may mean that in 3 days after I apply that action plan, this individual is going to receive a text message. And then 2 days later, they're going to receive an email. And a week later, a task is going to be created for me to follow up with them via phone. That could be an example of an action plan. And so as you learn more about action plans, just know that you can create endless amounts of action plans for you or your team, and you can start implementing them by simply clicking these buttons once you've created them. They're really, really fun. Robert, how much time do I have? I just looked down at the clock and I recognize that I think this is a 45-minute training, but I still have about 15 minutes on Ylopo. So, and I recognize everyone is busy. It's Friday, but if you're interested in hearing about Ylopo or just
keep going.
Good. Okay.
Because if you don't keep going, they have to prospect.
Fair enough. Okay. Well, now I'm conflicted. I don't know if I should just quit right now or not. Okay. So if there are no other questions on Follow Up Boss, and I recognize I jumped through this thing pretty quick. Okay. So for some of you who are like sitting there like, whoa, dude, you just covered a lot of stuff.
I have a question.
Yes.
Does Follow Up Boss have templates for the action plans?
Yes. Yes. And how you access those is you just go to admin and you can go to action plans right here. And we've already built out a ton of action plans. We have a ton of them in here. You can mosey on through and check out which ones you like. When you create an action plan, it's really easy. You come in here, you give it a name. You can automatically pause the action plan when the lead responds to either the text or the email. And you can come in here and you can create, any of the actions that you want, create a task, send an email, change the stage, add a note. You can create that action plan by coming in here, selecting these things, and then adding the next step. Now, in order to create an action plan, just know this: if the action plan includes emails or text messages, then you'll have to come in and create those email templates and text message templates first. Make sense?
Okay, so there isn't, so create the templates, but there isn't any default templates to use?
Oh, there are a ton.
Okay.
Follow Up Boss has given us all the best ones out there, and they're all in such they're in a condition where they use the merge fields. So it's not like you're clicking it and it says like from Coldwell Banker. It says like they're very specific to you. So they
Got
can be used across the board by all agents.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, of course. So I'm going to veer left really quick, and we're going to talk a little bit about Ylopo. Okay. But I'm going to keep it kind of broad. I'm going to keep it high level. We will continue to dig into this. And I recognize, guys, and please just be patient with us. There's a lot of moving parts as we merge these two amazing companies. And so part of that is getting our website updated with our new real estate brand, Century 21 Masters, and updating some of our communities. Okay. And we're working on that right now with Ylopo. So pretty soon, all the communities will be updated. The additional branding will be placed. This is our company website. Okay. And so Ylopo on its own can get kind of pricey. For those of you guys are paying for Ylopo, you guys know it's a chunk of change. And so for those of you who are not interested in making any investment in Ylopo, our free Ylopo account is a brokerage account. But what that means is it all runs off of our company website. Okay, because you only get one custom website per account. Okay, and so our custom website is this. On our custom website, all of our team members are listed. Okay, and so I'm going to come in here and I'm going to pick a familiar face. I think some of you guys might know this guy. Ron Cronin. How many of you guys know that guy? Few of you? Great. So Ron's on our team. He's out of Oceanside. He's prospecting right now. I know he is. It was his birthday yesterday. He doesn't care. He's prospecting. So Ron and each of you will get a custom agent page. Okay. And this page is essentially, it's kind of a landing page. Okay. And it's very customizable. And our team is currently being trained on how to customize these. And so you can have this updated, customized. You can add pictures. You can add testimonials. You can add information. What's great about this is within it, if someone wanted to search for homes, if I knew how to spell, someone wants to search for homes, they can come right on here, and it caught me. I did this the other day, and it didn't. It's not going to let me do it. It's okay. I'm going to do this really quick, and I'm going to explain what just happened. Okay, that's something very important, and you should be excited about it. But basically, if you go to that search site that I just told you about right here, it's going to take you to a page like this where the individual that's on your website can search for homes, and it's going to be your custom. It's going to be your individual home search site. Okay, and they can literally come in here. They can change price, bed, home type. There's a ton of things that they can criteria that they can narrow down. But when they click on a home, okay, this one has my dad's face on it because this is our company account. But if you were to do it on Ron's, it would have been Ron's face and his phone number. And it doesn't matter what home they click on. That's not like all those homes are Ron's listings. If they're on the MLS, it's going to show your face down at the bottom with your contact information to reach out to. Now, when I go on to the search site, okay, and I click on this home, or I heart it, or I request a tour, what's automatically going to happen is in Follow-Up Boss, you're going to get updated with that activity. Okay. So each of you will have a search site. Each of you will have a search site where you can point people to search for homes. You can put it on a QR code and put it on the back of your business card. You can send it out on social media as kind of passive lead gen. Now, what happened earlier is when someone that's not in your database, okay, when someone that's not in your database goes on to your search site and they start poking around, clicking on homes, about like 5 or 6 clicks in, this is going to pop up. And they're going to have to answer questions. You can't get around it. I'm like looking at that home. I'm like, that $1.339 million home right there that is the home. I got to get it. I got to see it, but I can't figure out how to get around this thing. Oh, looks like I got to answer some questions. It's a forced lead form. They fill it out. And what's going to happen is that's automatically going to populate this individual as a lead in your system. So it's lead generation for you. Okay. Any questions on that?
I do. I'm a little confused. So they would, in order to find, so they go to the brokerage website and then into
Not
Ron's
necess-
website.
Not necessarily. So I recognize why you're a little confused. Here's how it works. Each of you essentially have this page, okay? And you can just copy this URL and you can send it out. They don't have to navigate through our website. As a matter of fact, from the looks of it right here, when they type this URL in, it takes them right here. And they can search for homes, they can get information from you, or you can just send them your actual search site, which is going to just be your first and last name .c21frs.com, and we're working on updating all of that. And I'll provide very specific instructions as we get you guys set up on Ylopo. But that home search site is a landing page that you can just point them to. Okay, so for instance, my brother, Matt Thompson, he's got a search site. This is his search site. So you can point people to your search site directly. The reality is most people, when they're looking for homes, they just want to get right to it.
Right.
So you're sending them a direct link here, visit my home search site. They're like, oh, this looks great. Awesome. Nice. Additionally, you guys would each get a seller site subdomain. Maybe asking yourself, what the hell is a seller site? This is HomeBot. So HomeBot is free when you utilize our Follow-Up Boss and Ylopo package. Okay. And this seller site, this is a subdomain. Once again, I can turn this into QR codes. I can send this out on social media. I can include this in email communication. What happens is when someone comes here, they just enter in their address and they opt into a report from HomeBot, which gives them all this rich information on their home. And guess what all this rich information does to someone like me or most of your clients? It gets them thinking. It gets them thinking, man, I could take some cash out. Oh, I could renovate the home. Oh, I could turn this into a rental property, an investment property. Oh, I could refinance, or, my home is actually, looks like it's pretty, it's appreciated nicely. This might be a good time to sell. It just gets them thinking. And every time they access that report, you are made aware of it.
Oh, okay.
Very,
I have a question, Keith. This is Tess.
yes.
Okay, so when we are in, I do have, in fact, I am on a trial period with a Follow-Up Boss. And this is a good thing. So basically, I know that Follow-Up Boss does not have a website. Is that Ylopo is that, I mean, I'm kind of green on this, okay? Would you have to have a website in order to, or
No.
it's in replacement of Ylopo?
No, so here's the deal. Follow-Up Boss does not come with a website for a very
Right.
specific reason. Follow-Up Boss said they want to be the best CRM. That's what they focus all their effort on.
Exactly.
They don't get distracted with any of the marketing stuff. Ylopo with us, when you sign up for Follow-Up Boss, you automatically get Ylopo as well.
But that doesn't mean that it's a website, the Ylopo. Is that true or no?
So you will get an agent page. This page that you see right here, you will get that. And you will get a search site which is just this this site right here with your name. You'll actually get three pages. You get an agent page, you get a home search subdomain, and you get a home valuations subdomain. You get all three of those, and you can advertise those as you deem fit. Now, you could have a URL, for instance. Maybe you purchased a URL or a domain. I'm sorry. Maybe you purchased a domain. Well,
Yes.
we can set it up to where this says your domain, this becomes your website. And the girls, I've talked with Alma and our concierge team, they are way better at this than I am. This is not my cup of tea, like the design stuff. They're already salivating at the mouth because they know how to work the back end of this and how to customize these websites such that they look way more beautiful than what I put together even here.
Okay. So does that mean that I don't need to have my own website? Because I do have my own domain.
That's up to you. It's completely up to you. If you have your own domain, you could attach that domain to this website. Because the reality is, ideally, you want people going to a site that is going to capture them as a lead.
Got it.
Right?
Okay.
Because what good is having a website if you're not getting some lead generation out of it, right?
Exactly. Makes sense. Thank you.
I'm excited. How soon can we get started?
I love that you guys are eager. Send me an email, Keith at Full Realty Services, if you want to jump on now. If you do not want to wait and you're saying, hey, before the holidays, I'm getting my stuff together. I don't care what you say, Keith. Then I will get you dialed in.
So we've already had a trial on this, which they're supposed to charge me. So what happens? Do you take care of this and let them know that we're joining yours instead of my own individual?
Yeah, if you're in a trial period, it's kind of a unique situation because I'm not sure if you've uploaded your database and if you're working it and using.
Yes, I did already.
Well, that's easy. All we're doing is exporting your database and uploading it, importing it into this thing. You have no contractual obligation with Follow Up Boss as it sits right now, right?
Well, not yet until I start paying, right?
Yes, you just cancel the free subscription or the free trial period. You cancel it. We get your database uploaded into the brokerage paid Follow Up Boss account.
Okay.
And I can walk you through that really easy. I promise.
Well, I don't know how to do that. It's my assistant who does that. I don't do any of those.
No, you're good. I totally
take my time on that.
No,
Okay.
I don't want you spending your time on that. Let us help you out. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Does the same
Okay,
thing
you
apply?
got my email.
Okay. Email's in the box. I got you.
So I have another question, Keith.
Yes.
So C21 online, the golden ruler, unique property, all that. Do we use any of those sites? Is that integrated? How are we playing nice together?
I like how you phrase that. Here's the deal. About a year and some change ago, we decided we were going to originally go with MoxieWorks. We were gonna go all in with MoxieWorks because Century 21 put all this time and effort into it. It looked good. And then I started to play around with it, and I just there were too many restrictions. There were too many. It was too secure and blocked off. We couldn't plug stuff in. We couldn't do what we wanted to do. You had to like log into 21 online and jump through like 16 tabs, and like it was kind of burdensome. And so we decided, you know what, we're gonna build our own thing, and we want it to be special, and we want it to add a lot of value to our agents. And so the short answer to your question, I was going to do a long-winded answer, but the short answer to your question is we've found that certain aspects of Moxie work really well. Moxie Present, for instance, I really like Moxie Present. I like building out the pre-listing packet using Moxie Present because it has everything branded. It walks me through my CMA really quick. I got my net sheet. I can punch that in. So we use certain components of the tools that they offer on 21 Online, but for the CRM, for the lead gen, for that kind of, we've shied away from anything 21 Online. Golden Ruler is a great tool. You still very much can use it. From a CRM data management standpoint, my opinion, this is superior.
Okay, so, okay, that answers my question, because I've never used their CRM, but everything else, the other components, I like, and it sounds like that's what we're doing going forward as well with this.
Yeah, if you've gotten really used, I'm not trying to, listen, I recognize that just the merging of the two companies is a lot of change.
Uh-huh.
I'm very mindful of that. And the last thing that I'm going to do is come in here and try to make, additional changes that are going to interfere with you guys doing what you need to do, which is, continue to prospect and build that business and get those appointments and get those closed contracts. So I'm not trying to shake the tree too much. I just want you guys to have access to something that, in my opinion, is easy to set up. And unless you're Melinda, we got some work to do, but you get it done. But easy to set up and easy to use.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
I have one more question, and it came on the chat. If
Yeah.
we have a HomeBot account, and since you're doing this for us,
Yeah.
do we cancel our account too, or how does that work? The HomeBot.
The answer is, it is up to you. Here's what you get with our account. Okay. Jessica is in Ylopo. And once again, you guys are going to have to sit in a few of these trainings. And I have a whole bunch of videos that we're going to provide to you next week in our communication. So you'll have there's nine quick, 3-4 minute videos that Hunter has put together for you guys to kind of expedite the learning curve. Okay. But Jessica, she's already been added to Ylopo. Okay. So she's in the Ylopo database. And when I click on her stars link right here, you see where my cursor is? There's a stars link down here. When I click on that, it takes me to her dashboard in Ylopo. Okay. I just showed you guys how to passively push out your home search subdomain, how to passively push out your home bot or seller site, right? I just showed you, if you're using it in marketing emails, if you're using it on flyers, in QR codes, etc., right? But those are very passive techniques. You're hoping that someone scans it, goes on, fills stuff out. When you're talking with someone and you're prospecting, and that person says throughout that conversation, you find out that they own their home. Man, the first thing you should be doing is saying, let me send you a free home valuation. It's through a company called HomeBot. It is by far the best home report on the market. It'll give you a ton of interesting information. You can come in here and you can opt them in yourself. So you force opt them in. So there's the passive approach and there's the force. Now, when you send them in, here's the difference. Here's the difference between you having a HomeBot on your own and using ours. You don't have credentials to log into HomeBot with ours. Okay. You can't log into a HomeBot. You can't go to HomeBot on the website and log into HomeBot. What ends up happening is you're pushing them out this home valuation report, which comes from you. And when they click on it, okay, bear with me for a second. I might have to find, let's see, where am I at? When they click on it, and they engage with that free HomeBot, or with that HomeBot report, you get notified like this. So you get notified when they open it up. Okay. You get notified when they open up. You can also, once you've actually created it, okay, you can come down here and under your seller alerts or your listing alerts, you can see if they've opened it or if they've clicked on it. So you get some additional data. But the punchline is this, that once they open that HomeBot digest, you now have access to it. This is through Frank's personal account, but you actually can jump in there and see what they received. Does that make sense?
No, I want to understand when you said you have your own and the one with your company. What's the difference?
The difference is you can't log into HomeBot and actually see all the people you've sent HomeBots to. You don't get access to HomeBot because we only have one HomeBot account. And so we've created an environment that sends out these reports to individuals from your email. And when they click on it, now you get access to that information and you're notified that they engage with it. But you couldn't go into your HomeBot, be like, hey, I sent out 50 HomeBot home valuations, and you want to go through them and use the full functionality of HomeBot. You won't have access to that. So that's the difference. So my answer to you is on whether or not you should get rid of HomeBot or not is how valuable is logging into the account and scrolling through and looking at all that information to you. Do you do it often? Are you using HomeBot to its full potential? Because if you're not, sending them the home valuation report is all I'm interested in. I just want to make sure they get the home valuation report and that they know it came from me, and that when they engage with that home valuation report that I'm notified, so I can call them and be like, hey, notice you just checked out your home valuation report. What do you think?
But they do. They send us a notification when they open it.
Right.
And you'll still get that, and you'll still get that with our system. You just won't be able to enter your credentials for HomeBot and access your database within HomeBot. That's the only difference.
Okay.
Keith, will we be able to see Ylopo and HomeBot like on the tab? Is that how you're
Yes. So as we continue to train, guys, I've already created some fun little smart lists such that when someone engages with your HomeBot report, you get notified. And you can see it was really easy for me to access. You saw where I was just at. And I can click in and I'm notified immediately. It falls into one of my buckets and I can come in here and I can actually look and I can see what they received.
So it's automatically when we sign up to Follow Up Boss, there's going to be a tab, like all the tabs that you're having here. Well, there's other tabs that you have, but I'm assuming that the tab's going to be somewhere on the top where I can easily access it.
I've shared all of these smart lists with you guys and we built them out a very specific way. You guys can customize all of your smart lists. I didn't jump into smart lists because I recognize I've covered a lot and I can start seeing eyes glaze over, and I don't want to outdo my welcome. I want you guys to come back for additional trainings. But you will, I've created some very easy buckets for you to use. One being HomeBot engaged, which means that if they engage with the HomeBot report that you sent out, voila, you see them in this bucket and you can see everybody who's received the HomeBot.
Got it. Sounds
Cool.
good.
All right. Listen, for our first call, I covered a lot.
Yes. Thank you.
I'm going to stop sharing. Like I said, if you guys are interested in using this now, just send me an email, please. Send me an email. I'll send you an email here in a minute. I'll get you added on. We'll get the ball rolling. We're still, like I said, in the process of rebranding some of the sites and stuff. So expect that to happen over the next 7 to 14 days. By December, this thing is going to be, all set, ready to rock. Thank you guys for jumping on. I appreciate your time.